All right, today we're looking at the trigger assembly for the 499, and this thing has been cleaned up and lubed, including the sear right there with ballistol, which is my favorite lube for this, for BB guns, that is BB spring guns. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart, and we'll compare it to the Red Ryder trigger and put it back together. All right, so first of all, what you want to do when you get this, the old timers joke that they had to use Polaroids, but take pictures of it with your phone. Take basic angles like from the front, underneath, the side, that type of thing. But let's go ahead and do this now. All right, so there is a torsion spring. Be careful with torsion springs because these things can break, so just push hard enough to take tension off the safety here. So we push that down, pull that out, and there is a notch right there, you can see. That is for the long arm of the torsion spring. Okay, and then we have a retaining pin, and that just all comes apart without that safety in there. So let's go through this, and we have the trigger blade, obviously, with the return spring. So let's go through all these parts and name them all for you so you have an idea how this works. All right, so the two big ones that break many times have to be fixed, and they're fully supported by Daisy, is the pawl. The pawl locks your sear so you can actually cock your gun and hold that plunger back there. So the sear will hold this. So you have the pawl, and then you have the torsion spring, short arm and the long arm. Obviously your trigger blade and the return spring, a very soft return spring, almost like a pen spring. And then the safety. Remember, with the safety, it is long section facing back. When you put it on, you have to manipulate this through a hole in your frame, and we'll get to that. And then again, you have the notch for your torsion spring. Okay. Now, compare this to the Red Ryder trigger. The Red Ryder trigger has that anti-bear trap, controversial, causes anti-bear trap confusion. And we don't have that with the 499, so that's great. So, okay, so this you can order just this from Daisy. That's, again, the 499 is fully supported, so if you just pretty much want the sear, so we need to get into this section first. All right, so it's all metal body. It's not plastic like the Red Ryder, no anti-bear trap. And now with the sear, my local gun shop jokes that people want to play gunsmith and they file this and they think more is better, and so you have a situation where the plunger doesn't stay on by itself, it slips by itself, shoots, your gun shoots up in the air, will shoot when you're not trying to shoot it. And obviously filing the sear, if you do that with a firearm, can be extremely dangerous to you. So at least that gun shop would say, please don't file the sear. I would say you don't need to file this for the 499. It's really not necessary, so please don't do that. So okay, so there's this part, and okay, we talked about all the rest of that. So let's go ahead and put it back together now. So we start with the trigger blade and the return spring. So I came up with what I felt is the best way to put this thing back together. Make sure your sear is down when you're putting this back in, so it gets in the proper spot and doesn't fall off there. Okay, there we go. All right, make sure that that is lined up. Now we have around here, oh, the retaining pin. I forgot to bring that up. There's the retaining pin. So we want to make sure that that fits smoothly through there. Okay, perfect, no problem. Okay, and so then we put on the pawl next, and the long side of this is for right here. That is for to make room for that spring, for the torsion spring. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And so what that does here, let's quickly look at this. What that does is there is a spot underneath where it catches, and that allows, again, it to hold that plunger in place. So that's the pawl's job right there. Catches right underneath there. Okay. Now, let's see, it goes right here. And there we go. Now, With the torsion spring, this is a little bit tricky. You need that thing, the long arm on that. The hip needs to be facing up, that little hump there. That needs to be facing up. And we need to have that thing inside of there with the long arm up so that the short arm will catch the pawl. So that spring does double duty. It puts tension on your safety and tension on this pawl right here. So that will actually help your sear. So this is the trickiest part. So nothing really too complicated once you get it down. Okay, so we get through the, oh, okay. Well, bear with me here. I'm trying to do it on camera, so I notice it's a little bit easier off camera. But, okay, and then through the body. Okay, and let's see here. Keep that long arm up. You may have to manipulate the trigger blade a little bit. There we go. There you go. I just had to manipulate that a little bit. Okay, so we're in business. And so let me point out how we're in business, because I made sure the long arm was up. Okay, so let's get maybe a little bit extra light on this. So, yeah, so you can see that torsion spring, the short arm hits the pawl. So that's good. And we have tension right here. Okay, so I think we can see that. You have tension right here. That's great. And so when you put your safety back on, what you're going to do is make sure the long side is facing back. You're going to have to go through the frame of your gun. And you just manipulate that spring down until you hear a click. There we go. So let's go over this. So fire, safe, fire, safe. Okay, and we got it all put back together. Now, some comments I want to make on this, other than, yes, I just want to make clear I love barrel stall for this. It got it even smoother. It's already a smooth unit, but the barrel stall really smoothened it out a little bit more. Is order this separately. Unless your name is Shane Bruce, you should not be taking apart a $200 BB gun when you don't have any reps on it. So order this separately and do what I did. I have this ready to go. I played with it and like a puzzle until I mastered this. And then when it's time to repair your gun, let's say years in the future, you'll have this ready to go. And if it needs a refresher, you have the unit right here with the parts you're going to put in your gun, and you get going on it till you have that figured out again. So as far as that goes, yes, $10 in the mail. And yeah, please, if you don't have any reps taking apart a $10 or $4.99, make sure that you order this for $10 in the mail and master the trigger unit. So anyway, also let's go over the trigger pull at the end of the video. Okay, so one of the things that people complain about this trigger, because they say the gun doesn't shoot well, and I'm like, what gun are they shooting? Is this release is way back here compared to a Red Ryder. Like, I'm exaggerating, but it's pretty far back. So when you're pulling the trigger on this, no going into the 499, you pick up a lot of slack, hit a certain point, and you'll get good at it with practice. Start aiming, and the third stage is, okay, so again, one more time. So you pick up a lot of slack on this trigger. You hit a certain point and just keep practicing. Start aiming, prepare for the third stage, shooting the gun. Okay. So, yeah, so as long as you remember that, think of it like 3 stages until you get it down. It's really just a matter of it just releasing pretty far back. But yeah, excellent trigger unit, easy to work on. Please consider ordering this separately in addition to getting your gun. All right, thank you.